guys, my name is Hazel. I'm going to be sharing with you my GCSE coursework today, as seen by the title of this video. This is going to be a sketchbook flip through. This video is especially for some of you guys who are currently struggling with the lack of teacher support. I feel like art coursework is a very communication intensive subject where you really do need that feedback from your teacher, and your teacher really does need to see your work in real life to give you a good piece of feedback, and currently that's a bit difficult. I'm going to give you as much help as I can. Hopefully this is helpful for you. I'm going to be sharing with you two of my sketchbooks, one of which was submitted to the examiners and the other one was not because it was atrocious, so hopefully you guys can learn from my mistakes. So I'm going to get straight into it, and yeah. Voiceover Hazel here. Hi. This is my title page for my Nature and Human Impact Upon It project. So here's my primary source photos as a mood board kind of thing. Here's a little drawing I did to show my technical skill. These are very good because sometimes it's hard to create a technically skilled piece of work, and it's just easy to show in an observation drawing. So that didn't make sense. What I was trying to say is that it's difficult to show technical skill in your portfolio when a lot of your art is stylized and inspired by other artists. So yeah, you can continue now. Here's my first analysis, George O'Keeffe, the classic. Some inspired work. Some more inspired work by George O'Keeffe, and I wrote annotations to link them to George O'Keeffe. This is Van Gogh, Andy Goldsworthy, some fun stuff here, just my analysis and my inspired, and some more primary source photos. Love that stuff, just humans interacting with their environments, loads of pollution and stuff. Hundertwasser. And this is my inspired for Hundertwasser. I didn't really like this artist. I found it very hard to be inspired by him, I'm not gonna lie. And then I go on to my final piece. So my final piece, I start with my initial ideas, my composition development, and I go into all the different parts of my composition, and I really get into the nitty-gritty. I do my media development, I try out loads of different backgrounds, loads of different media, and just how they interact with the different backgrounds and stuff like that. Make sure to annotate and always link back to my artist as well, because the examiners love that interaction between your work and relating it to the artist. It just shows some coherency and you're really inspired by them. This is coming to the end of my development, I think. I've got my refinement, my statement of intent. Don't do a review, just say it as it is. What parts of your final piece are inspired by what artist and why, and how successfully you think you showed that they were inspired. I'm going to my other project, finally, yay! Got my title page, I've got my photographs, their primary source. I did a little bit more annotation with these ones. I've got my technical skill drawing, my observation still life drawing. Did that with Prismacolors. I've got my analysis and my inspired work. Did that for Inktober actually. Paul Cézanne, he has very interesting artwork, I guess. I don't really like how it's all very off, and just looking at it, it's kind of like, oh, that needs tweaking. But it's quite unsettling. Some cool cubism work, I think. Did that for pencil on the bus because I do all my homework last minute. Also did that one in the morning before school. As I say, all my work is last minute. I didn't really like this page. You can see this is where I start to go downhill with this project, but it's okay because I get back up again, and I think that's inspired by Boccioni actually. And then my initial ideas, yay! My final piece is starting to come together for this project. So I did my initial ideas. I didn't come up with that many ideas for this one, but they were quite interesting ideas, I guess. My composition development, taking pictures for stuff which could be used in my composition. Started sketching loads of stuff, trying different poses, and just annotating. Fish, I went to a fish market, not market, bloody hell, aquarium. I took loads of pictures, and then I did some more sketches. I actually did this with tracing paper. I put them in the scanner and I just moved the tracing paper about and kind of did an overlay, so I didn't have to sketch it all over again and again. Then there's me refining waves and stuff, media refinement, stuff like that, more media stuff development, and then my final composition refinement and my statement of intent. I'll show you what, actually I don't think I have a picture of this one. Damn. Anyways, next, a sketchbook. This is my failure of a sketchbook. It was absolutely atrocious. You'll see why. You'll see that this sketchbook, there just isn't that much work to it. It's very empty, it's very little, plain, and there's annotations and stuff, and there's still that kind of skill. I don't think my skill was that good in this project, actually. Like, there's a very big difference between this work and my previous sketchbook, and that's why this sketchbook was not put into my coursework for examining. I made some nice works in this topic though, which I kind of liked. Everything was just very random though, just random sketches, don't really know why that was part of the theme. It really wasn't, it was just there. You can tell this was all very randomly assembled. Even that primary source photos, they make no sense, and I tried really hard to link them to the topic in my annotations, but to be honest, it just doesn't work. Then there's my final piece development. That's all good. I kind of like my final piece of development and my final piece. My final piece overran so much though for this project. I spent so many lunchtimes after the exam just going back at it and trying to fix it, because it was my first time using pardon me, it was my first time using oil paints, and I just kept going back in and back in, trying to blend it all smoothly and get that contrast build. But yeah, small statement of intent. You can tell that was my rubbish sketchbook. Main tips, they would be: 1, to use primary source photos. They show individuality and just spell out to the examiner that all of your work is original. Number 2, annotate and link to the artist, because the artist and linking to the artist is only really what the examiner cares about. 3, use a range of media and experiment in your development stages for your final piece. Even if you aren't confident in that media, show you are risk taking. 4, stay coherent. Don't stray off the theme. Don't use really random pieces of work that don't really link at all to where you're going and where you're heading, because then your final piece doesn't really link to your work. And then 5, talk to your teacher if you ever get stuck. Honestly, your teacher is the best person to talk to. They've seen so much work in their life, in their teaching career, and they know what's good for the examiner and what's not. But yeah, okie dokie. So thank you guys so much for sticking right to the end of that video, and I hope that most of the advice I gave you was helpful. And if you have any questions, then please leave them below in the comments section. Make sure to give this video a thumbs down. Thank you so much for watching. Take care guys, stay safe.